Hi, RexAnn.
Hi, Katie. Good to see you.
Good to see you after our trip. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing and kind of get a feel of how everything went and also talk about your experience with Truly Italy. So initially, why did you join a trip with Truly Italy?
Well, the first reason was because I think you're amazing and I trust you so much with anything Italian. After meeting you, your passion and joy for the country, Stefano, and just like your knowledge of it, I think is one of the reasons I was like, I have to travel with you. So for me, it was a big year. I turned 40 and I really wanted to do something brave. I had never traveled by myself. And I thought, what better of an opportunity than to go with someone I trust, however, get to meet a whole group of people and, still feel like I'm on that solo travel trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did it feel, like the fact that you were traveling solo? Like, what were some doubts and fears you had being that you were traveling alone in a country you don't speak the language? How did me preparing you and just your overall research, like how did that turn out?
Well, I'll be honest, I did a lot of research. And when you do research, a lot of things come up on Instagram because of your searches.
Yeah.
So I got some clues on like travel tips and when not to order espresso or coffee at a certain hour. And so I was pretty scared since it was my first international trip by myself. But I knew because I had traveled alone domestically, I've gone to big cities like New York and Chicago, and I've done some things on my own that I know Google Maps is going to be my savior and I'll be all right. So I think once we connected, we had our Google Meet. You kind of gave me some information about like the trains and, make sure your ticket's validated, don't get fined. I got fined anyway, but it's a good lesson, to learn. So I think you set me at ease. You put me at ease. And I really wasn't that scared. So once I got there, I was like, oh, they have Uber here. It's okay. Yeah. Now, Uber's not everywhere, but I traveled to Rome first. So yeah,
Awesome.
it was not as scary as I thought it would be.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
That's great. That's great. And after now, it's been a month and a half. A month and a couple weeks since you've been back. And you did travel after and stuff with some friends. Like how do you feel like after the experience? Obviously, the fact that you spent some money those 2 weeks. Like, how do you feel? And what's still kind of left that you're still like it's resonating with you or you're feeling like about the trip?
Yeah. So my trip consisted of 2 days in Rome by myself, the week with you all in the Tuscany region. And then I did some of the coastal, towns, and cities. My most favorite part was the Tuscany region, just because of how well organized it was. I mean, you had us, scheduled for something, and when there wasn't anything to do, we could relax at home. So for me, I feel like I want to go back, but I want that same experience where it's not constantly moving around and shuffling and every 2 days you're moving to the next city. I'd probably give myself a little bit more time in Rome, a little more time in Florence. But I think I want to travel some other cities too, other countries. There's just so much easy access to the trains. I could not get over how much the train system is like the airport, but much simpler.
Yes.
You still got to arrive on time and you got to worry about your luggage, but it's very easy. And if you miss a train, you can get on another one. It's gonna be okay. So I really loved the efficiency of that all.
That's great.
But yeah, I don't have anything else other than I'm ready to go back, but I do love, spacing out my trips. It's not something I'm going to do next month or anything, but I definitely have a vision for where I'd go next.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's the number one thing you loved the most about our week?
I loved the families that we met. So all the wineries we went to, seeing like the history, their passion, the hard work they put into it. I love the intimacy of that. And I didn't get that anywhere else. So throughout the entire trip, even if we loved our waiter, like we just didn't get that same experience. It was a very intimate and personal and just very touching to like be a part of like Casa Lucci and being a part of like that whole atmosphere. It was just nice. Like they were attending to us, and I really enjoyed that a lot. I think that was my most favorite part.
That's awesome. And I'll go back. I'm just go reverse in the sense of you were traveling alone. You knew nobody on this trip, and actually everybody didn't know each other. Right. How did that experience feel, being you're traveling alone, you don't know who you're going to be sleeping, in the next room too, you're sharing a bathroom? How did that turn out?
I think you put me at ease again when I met everyone prior to the trip. So I didn't actually meet everyone, but I met a good group of people. And I thought, no matter what, if they're on this trip, they're probably in the same position as I am. They're probably exploring something new. Maybe it's their first time. So no matter what, we would have that connection. I didn't mind sharing a bathroom. I mean, I did it in the dorms back in college, and I'm so lucky to have, had a bathroom next to Kelsey. I mean, she was great. And I met some really great people. Like that was just amazing too, that I don't really think I could be on a trip where I didn't like somebody. I don't think in that mindset, like, oh, what if I don't like the people I'm with? I knew it was going to be okay. Because if they like you and they know you, you're around good people. You have that type of energy about you. So I knew no matter what, it was going to be good energy. It was going to be good, positive people.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. And then lastly, why would you recommend others to join? Given the costs, given the fact that maybe someone might say, hey, no, I can do this myself. What kind of things could you say to them to say, you need to go with Katie and Stefano to Italy?
If you're looking to get your feet wet for the first time in Europe, you've never been, maybe you have been, but you haven't been to Castel Fiorentino or some of the other regions that we went to, the other towns. I think you need to go with Katie and Stefano because they've got the passion, they've got the eye for the uniqueness, the parts of Italy that you probably won't be able to research on your own and go on your own, and book on your own or get on a bus and be with a bunch of other people and only spend a few hours. I think if you want a intimate and personal space and just really have, like, there's a lot of relaxation too. There's a lot of opportunities to just breathe and soak it all in. I think you need to try Truly Italy. It's a custom experience. I can't praise you enough for your patience with people too. It's amazing. You give us room, you give us time to breathe. You're not overwhelming us. Everything's well organized. It felt good. And you always had a plan B. So when the weather went bad or someone got sick, like whatever it is, you had some backup.
Yeah.
And I think just having something that's well organized and easygoing is what we all look for, what we all want when we go on vacation.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rex. I love you, and I hope to see you on one of our trips in the future. Maybe.
I look forward to it. I mean, I keep sharing all your upcoming retreats.
Yeah.
So, I'll definitely plan for it. But I wouldn't do it without you. I mean, and once I get comfortable, then I'll go out on my own. But I'm gonna want to come with you on all your trips.
I'm gonna get Kelsey to come on all my trips. You can always be with her.
She is amazing. She was great. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Rex.